For more than 15 years, 782 weeks, entire villages in northern Nigeria were burned to the ground, millions displaced, young girls stolen, families slaughtered, citizens of one of Africa's largest nations forced to live in concentration camps in their own country, a slow motion genocide. And yet the world remains silent. Welcome to the African Diaspora Doc channel. I'm your host, Dr. Sheri Tomlin, and this is the African Diaspora Doc Dispatch, where we confront silence with truth and examine what the headlines won't tell you. Today, we ask a hard question. Since the rise of Boko Haram in the early 2000s, the people of northern Nigeria, Muslim and Christian alike, have suffered unimaginable terror. And what did the world do? Nigeria's own government floundered. The African Union issued statements, but no action. And the global Black community, mostly silent. Where were the boycotts, the shutdowns, the international outrage? Where were the influencers, the Pan-African supporters? Since the early 2000s, headlines warned us. Some marched, too few listened. Northern Nigeria waited. Say what you want about Donald J. Trump, and many do, but this week he did what no other president dared to do. Was it for access to resources? He said he's willing to negotiate. Are our African leaders skilled negotiators? Was he declarations said perfectly? Absolutely not. But did he call out the Nigerian leaders? President Trump said something out loud when others said nothing. Yes, he did in typical Trump style. And for millions in Nigeria, that moment mattered. Meanwhile, critics who mocked him rarely mentioned the North. You know, no committees, no reporting, no advocacy. Would Kamala Harris have said anything to address religious extremism in Africa directly? Were they too afraid of upsetting a carefully curated image of African harmony? But let's not just look outward, let's look inward to our Nigerian brothers and sisters. Where was the South during all of this? For 15 years, people in the North screamed for help. And the South, weddings went on, churches held revivals, businesses expanded, life moved on, as if the North didn't exist. But instead, the North bled in silence, watched, forgotten, abandoned to the diaspora, the US, the UK, the Caribbean. What hope do we have when Africa cannot even unite within herself? How do we return to a motherland that forgets her own children? Unity is not just a dream, it is a responsibility. We don't sugarcoat, we tell the truth, even when it hurts. If leaders say they will partner, then negotiate from a position of strength. Do it properly, ethically, boldly. Why don't African countries form one serious front, one voice at the global table? You want respect, act like you belong to the mothers in Borno, to the orphans in Yobe, to the families crammed into tents, barely surviving in Nigeria's IDP camps. I've watched your horror for 15 years, and now finally we all see you. Now the world might too. This is Dr. Sheri Tomlin broadcasting from the African Diaspora Doc platform. This has been episode 17, 5,000 Days of Terror.
And a pleasant good afternoon to you all. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome, family. Let's learn to be family, even if you don't think we are, okay? The facts are there. We're from pretty much the same stock, and we are a diverse people. We know that. But that doesn't mean that, we can't come together and be one community. Our beloved African continent should be one continent. They should vote as one, do business as one, and one day that could very well happen. So, once again, welcome to the African Diaspora Doc Dispatch. This is your host, Dr. Sheri Tomlin. Tomlin's coming to you live from the Dallas, Texas Metroplex. So, the question we are posing today is how long can a people suffer before the world opens its eyes? For northern Nigeria and the Middle Belt, it took about 5,000 days, 782 weeks, 129,000 hours. We watched for all these years, 15 long years, our people just taken out for no reason, no good reason, because you can do something. Sometimes people have to realize just because you can do something don't mean you do it. Okay? Just because you can mislead people, miseducate people, doesn't mean you should do it. It's that easy. Look how easy it is to have people go astray, have people lose their dignity, and have to watch, put us all in this situation where we have to watch the colonial powers tell you you're a disgrace. All this time you could have done exceptionally well, be above and beyond everything else that this world is doing. You can blow it out the water, but instead you go blow each other up. Our people are so smart, but choose to be so stupid, right? So that's what we're discussing today. Yeah. Talk about strange bedfellows, right? Of all people, Donald J. Trump, okay, who means different things to different people. I never really connected with the man. I didn't vote for him, but I was praying someone somewhere could do something because I watched even white women go to Nigeria and they try to sound the alarm. They ran out of there trying to get help. And all these years, people in big positions, they have authority, big money, big power, and did nothing. Okay? And year after year went by. The government in Nigeria got even further away from, taking action. And then here we have President Tinubu. We're going to give him his props today because he realized, and maybe it's that Yoruba spirit, but I know Yoruba people, they would rather figure things out than to face conflict and to be embarrassed in front of their people. So at least they have pride, that much pride. Thank you, President Tinubu. Maybe you didn't have it before, but it finally came through now. And your people, my people, our people, this is where we came from when they took us, our ancestors, to the Western Hemisphere. We're connected. Okay, our DNA leads us back to when they do our blood test, it leads us back to either Nigeria, Ghana, both, even Senegal, Gambia. Our DNA is like telling us this is the whole area that you're from the whole West Africa. Okay, these are your people. But we choose to be tribalistic, keep dividing our people with colorism, classism, and now religion. Okay, God told you to go do stupid stuff. Okay, like God is stupid. He's not. Okay, so we need to stop this ish. So we know the Nigerian country has been infiltrated by certain politicians, outside forces. I know it's hard because they have a stronghold, right, on those politicians and certain people, in that government, right? They control the military, the agriculture, One politician in Nigeria, I always say this, he said, if we try to even change things and stop importing things from certain manufacturers and grow our own food and sell our own, stuff, they're going to take us out. So someone in the government said that, you know? So other forces are controlling their military. They've been infiltrated by terrorists, okay, and everyone else who don't mean well for the people of Nigeria. My people, okay, I'm telling, this is where a lot of us here are from. Millions of us, okay? It's not just like 1,000 or so. Millions of us are from Nigeria, okay, from Ghana. All right, but now we have to face the fact that maybe the foundational Black Americans were right, okay? There's no way we can possibly have Pan-Africanism. They abandoned that. And our Pan-African brothers and sisters, this is an eye-opener, okay? If our people in Nigeria cannot get along and they don't have unity, not only Nigeria, but look at Tanzania, look at, you know, other countries in Africa. I mean, Senegal, they're trying their best, but anyway, look at the government from east to west, north to south. Okay, we have coups after coups. We have our brothers and sisters saying, America's coming into Nigeria to invade us and we're a sovereign nation and, they just want our gold and diamonds and that's not going to feed you, right? You got to start with being able to feed yourselves. Okay, let's start there. Let's have peace. Why not? Why not Nigeria? Why not Burkina Faso? Why not Tanzania? Why not start with peace and prosperity? Let's do that on the basic level. And then we can take the gold and the oil into the stock market and, and make big money. And, if our leaders can negotiate, like Trump said, okay, just that one word, learn how to negotiate, okay, instead of signing deals that does not benefit your people, does not make you a good leader, okay? So don't allow people to come in from the Sahel, from Europe, from wherever, and destroy your educational system. Tell your people they should not be educated because the less educated you are, the less aware you are that some things aren't true. Okay, some things ain't right. You just think it's okay because that's what you're indoctrinated with. That's what you were miseducated with, right? But and hopefully Gen Z, I see them, you know, carrying the torch now. They're not gonna fall for the foolishness that, the Generation X and the baby boomers fell for. We just went along to get along. As a Gen X person, I'm telling you that. We just had to show and prove, that we're good enough. We're just as good or even better. You give us a chance, we're going to be even better, right? Than the next guy. Okay. So say what you want to say about America coming in to take the resources and all that, but a lot of Nigerians are saying, let them have it, take it. If this is how we're going to have peace and security and be able to make a living and have a better quality of life, take it, right? But that's not what Trump said. See, people are making up stuff as we go along. He blatantly said, okay, we can negotiate. So, and we probably should because, yeah, if we have this type of embarrassment where our leaders in Africa have to be called out, you know, by people who yeah, have an interest in certain things that, maybe you want to protect. Okay. So, yeah, President Trump, listen, he said he'll negotiate. There's no reason for our people to keep electing leaders who end up having to be kicked out because of one coup after another. Everywhere you look, they said last week or a couple of weeks ago, they had to stop a coup in Benin. Benin just offered the African diaspora, in America or Caribbean, wherever, citizenship. And now you're going to have a coup and we want to go live there? We got to really think about this, okay? We can't allow our leaders to continue to sign deals and do things that doesn't benefit the people, and then, you know, we have to get rid of their stupid asses, right? Time and time again. So, yeah, America should not have to just come into a sovereign country. This is pretty serious if America does this, okay, to a sovereign country. And they're saying that they collaborated with the Nigerian government about this anyway. So, thank God this is happening. You know, sometimes we do have terrible leaders, and then sometimes they end up just out of pure, chance. They end up doing good. And I just hope this is one of those cases where, you know, people, our leaders here in America find their way. Because sometimes we could look at certain things a certain way, like we have been looking at Pan-Africanism. We could look at things a certain way and totally miss, our blind side, miss any signs that, because we don't want to see that. We can't even comprehend that, compute that. But it's that elephant in the room that we didn't recognize, didn't acknowledge, didn't appreciate, didn't, never thought about. Some of us, I've never thought about it myself, that I can make plans to go back to Africa. I'm being invited by Benin, by Ghana, and I could plan to go, but not be successful because my people are not going to work with me. My people, they're going to scam me. My people, they're going to just use me for whatever they can get and then just, go their way. They don't have any, like, real commitment to anything I'm doing as far as business, as far as my future, working together, building a community. That's really not there. A lot of our people, that's the thing. We have some, but we don't have enough. We do have some. Even, white people, we have some who's really sincere and who will really make an effort, okay, to help and to invest and do whatever, but we just don't have enough good Black men. We don't have enough good Black leaders. There's just not enough. There's just some. And hopefully Gen Z can, yeah, get this turned around so we'll have more instead of some good Black leaders, some good Black men, some good Black fathers, okay? And I know there's quite a lot of good Black fathers. We thank our Black men for, raising their families, sticking with their families. Uh, I heard one guest on the Monkey Business YouTube channel last week. He said, Jalea Uche, he said, women go through a lot. They are left to raise the kids. If the man chooses to go his way, he just goes, right? Because men, in a lot of cases, too many are just loyal to themselves, right? They don't understand what it means to be there for someone else, to sacrifice for someone else. And a lot of our men do, and we appreciate you for that. This is how we make a difference, make an impact in this world. Okay. So I know, yeah, the Gen Zs are listening and they're figuring things out. And you Gen Z folks are quicker, sharper, more prepared because you have a lot more tools and resources, better networks, communication platforms, everything. So use it, okay, for good, because good always win over evil, no matter how you look at it, okay? Good will always win. And we are praying wicked and evil people can come out of that, okay? I've seen people come out of different things and live a better life and do good in life. I've seen it happen. So it can happen. And more of this should happen as we go forth into 2026, where I don't know if you're ready, but I'm ready. This year, it started out good, but it's another case where everything happened at once. Everything terrible that could happen, it just happened all at once. First with the hurricane hitting Jamaica, then it destroyed my family's home there. Then it took my father, after that, he's gone now a few weeks later. So everything happened at once. And now I have my youngest getting married. So it's like, and I have to travel, start traveling again. So yeah, I'm ready for 2026. I don't know about you, but yeah, we really should do more to stick together. A lot of our leaders are enlightening us, opening our eyes. We're able to do our own research and not go along with certain things, no matter if it is religion. If it don't feel right, yeah, check things out for yourself. Don't just blindly follow religious leaders, or because they are fake. Some of them are, you know, big fakes. You got to know who's truly trying to help the people, work with the people, bring the message, the right message of hope to the people. You know, we're looking at people who lost hope in Nigeria now. Who's going to bring hope to the hopeless? Donald J. Trump. Seriously? Come on, y'all. This is what we have to wait for? This is how we get enlightened? This is how we take action? We don't help each other? A lot of us watch this tragedy unfold for 15 years. And we just went on about living in Nigeria now. Went on about our business, just, you know, avoided going to certain parts of Nigeria. I was listening to some Jamaican people who live in Nigeria, married Nigerians. I was listening to a podcast last week and they were like, yeah, the security is a issue, and we don't go past Abuja and Lagos. I'm like, Nigeria is beautiful. Everybody should have the opportunity to go up north, go down south, go east, go west if they want to, if they choose to. But we're moving to Nigeria as Jamaicans and just be limited to just Abuja and in Lagos for how many years? How many years do you have to live that way? 30, 60, 100 years, 200 years? Really? our people can't stand up, rise up, and say, this is not right. This is a no go. This needs to end. How do you do it? You know how to do it. This is what I'd never understood. Even the Igbo people was trying to show you how to do it, right? But everybody's talking, one podcast a couple days ago says, oh no, now, the Biafra is going to start and break up Nigeria. Well, y'all all are, different cultures and whatever, different nations. Maybe that should happen, right? Yeah, but I'm just here to say, yeah, what chance do we have as Pan-Africans if our people, our African people can't unite and can't stand up and know how to stand up? You don't have to always like get weapons and, uh, ballistic missiles and, you don't really have to do all that. Our ancestors showed us time and time again. If everyone in Nigeria said enough is enough, we're not going to do a coup. We're just going to go ahead and stop working, stop everybody, just stay home, just stand in place. Everybody, all 280 million of y'all, trust me, things would change in a New York minute. Okay? It would change so quickly. Your heads would be spinning. You'd be like, I didn't know we had this much power. This is what happens when people come together. They say there is strength in power, there's strength in numbers. So you'll see your power when y'all come together and unite. Do you get the idea now? Do you see how it works now? Boycotting works. Ask our ancestors from the 60s who was, boycotting the bus system, boycotting everything, okay, here in America. It works. All right. It will bring that government to make a decision, okay, to listen to their people, to serve their people. Yes, it will bring them to that place where they know, okay, I'm not serving, I'm not doing anything good. I'm not serving any purpose here. So it's time to work for the people. And I'm just saying, we've said a lot about Trump and Tinubu, President Trump and President Tinubu. We've said a lot about them that wasn't nice. uh, but I hope from this day forward, from this month forward, they can both work on going the distance where no other president has gone before. Presidents we expected because they were, had certain ancestries. We expected them to, you know, get things, do more, get things in order at the African Union, at least at the African Union, but no. I mean, things just went off the rails, just went out of control for the past 15 years. And we have presidents in America. We had a president who was directly linked to Africa. And under his leadership, it just like went to hell in a handbasket. And now look at where we are. So from this month forward, I hope we can now look back and say we could do our self reflection, our collective reflection, and say, never again. No. And unity is possible. And as Pan Africans, we will now have to wait to see that. We can't go ahead of certain things, okay? We have to pace ourselves now and wait for things to mature and to develop properly like it should, instead of us trying to jump in and, you know, make it happen. And it's not the way it should be. So now, starting in 2026, let's see if our brothers and sisters, who some of them don't think we're their brothers and sisters, they are just delusional, and that's fine. At some point, you'll wake up. Like I said, if we unite, if there's enough of us, other people will wake up, and that's when we can all enjoy all of the resources that God has given us on this beautiful earth. Okay? Africa has enough resources, it's infinite, it will never end. Okay? There's enough for everybody. So to be afraid, oh, they're going to take what we have, and you should have protected what you had. You should have done good with what you had. You should have surpassed their operations and systems. You should have been past that. Okay? But in 2026, we have a chance now. You can be at the table now. You can get those skills to negotiate now. Okay? And show us what you can do, because I know I have the energy to do my part. And I know I see my brothers and sisters, they're running, leaving America, going to Africa. They're going to do something, you know? They're coming with that energy. They're coming with, you know, their dollars. They want to unite. So now it's up to you. The ball is in your court, my African brothers and sisters, Nigerians, Tanzanians. No more business as usual. No more hoodwinking us. No more scamming us. I'm not even just saying people from Africa. We've had people from Jamaica go over there to Africa. People from England, you know, Black people from England go over there and scam other people in the African diaspora. So it's not just, you know, people, continental Africans, people living in Africa, people coming into Africa. Hey, they're just as, you know, silly. Okay, so grow up. Grow up. Stop embarrassing us and just learn to do the right thing. It's okay. Do the right thing. Okay? We can, like I said in the beginning, we can choose to do wrong. Okay? For a lot of us, it's just too easy. Okay? But we don't have to. So now in 2026, there's new rules. And if somebody has to take you by the hand and come into your country and stop things that you should have stopped years ago, hey, let's see if we can turn this around in 2026, because Nigeria should be booming with tourism. Nigeria should be, you know, the the cosmopolitan city. The whole country should have something to offer the world, you know, and gain something as well. Because that's how it was before. People would come in to get medical care. They love your, you know, people are buying your leather, people are buying your food. Uh, we love Nigeria, we love Ghana, we love Africa. But you allow certain people to just make it bad for everyone else. And we're tired of it. And let's see if 2026, are we ready? Yeah, I'm going to start a podcast right here on Thursday, January 1st, 2026. Victory in 100 days, okay? We had 5,400 days of hell. Now we're going to have victory in 100 days. I want to be successful in the ventures that I'm working on, the projects that I'm working on, and I pray that you'll be successful too. Let's, yeah, let's set our time for 100 days from now, okay? Not 5,400 days from now. We're going to do it in 100 days, okay? We're going to be more united. We're going to be more successful in our businesses, our projects, our, our purpose, walking in our purpose. A lot of us don't know what our purpose is, and that's why we goof off. That's why we join things that ends up harming us and everyone else around us, okay? Because we don't know our purpose and our passion, okay? So know what your purpose and passion is going into 2026. This way you can connect and you can unite and you can make a difference, make an impact. That's all we know how to do. That's all we know how to do. So don't let anyone take that God given fire in our belly, that God given ambition that we have. My sister was telling me, her friend said, ambition is going to kill Jamaicans. Even if we're going to drag ourselves, to work, to finish something, to get to the next level, you know, barely walking. Our knees are, we ain't slept in a week or two. We're going to find a way to get across that finish line. So I want you to get across that finish line with me, followers of the African Diaspora Doc channel. Thanks for checking out the African Diaspora Dispatch this week. I'll be sure to do this every Sunday because now I've noticed that Sundays are better for me and for you. And starting every day in January for 100 days in 2026, we're going to talk about what's working and what's not working on our Victory in 100 Days podcast. So please like, share, and subscribe. Join me again next Sunday. And I appreciate you listening. And I also want you to please check out nexna.com if you want to do more in Africa. Support our youth organization. The youth in Nigeria are, doing their internships at Nexna. They're working at Nexna, nextnaa.com. I'll tell you more about it next week. But for now, there's a lot to digest. Please process everything that I've said and let's go higher, not lower. Okay? Let's go higher in 2026. Peace and blessings. One love.